Please be seated and prepare yourselves. Dictation will start in 15 seconds. Get ready. Start. Madam, I would like to speak on several items dealing with the various aspects of the operational side of the Indian Railways. Firstly, we have to take into consideration that after partition, the Indian Railways had to bear a great strain. A lot of disturbances did happen in the very structure of the railways, and it was with great foresight that it could be made so well. The first thing that occurs to us is about the rolling stock. The rolling stock is very important because India used to import a large number of engines and so many other things which are associated with the operational side. It is very heartening to see that today most of these things are very produced in India. Recently, I had the privilege of visiting some of these factories, especially the Chitranjan factory, and I saw that the recent manufacture of an electric engine was something indicative of the wonderful achievement. Steam engines and diesel engines are manufactured, the latter ones. Varanasi, these have gone a long way in meeting the demands of the railways sufficiently. As far as many other things connected with the electric equipment are concerned, I feel that they are also produced in a large number at Bhopal at the heavy electricals factory, which I had the privilege of visiting only the other day. And they have given a very good account of themselves. These things should augur well for future activities as far as the railways are concerned. Madam, about the amenities and so many other things concerning the second class passengers, the railways have done very well. A democratic government, as it is, has to look to the needs of the second class passengers who subscribe to the tune of 80% of the railways revenue. Installation of fans in coaches, construction of passenger halls, and above all, the abolition of the invidious distinction about exit and entry of the passengers do speak very well of the administrative side. And apart from the amenities, the exciting thing that we see is that those people who have been working, I mean the railway staff, have also been accorded a number of facilities at some places. It was a heartening scene to see students taking wholesome meals which were subsidized by the railway administration. These are some of the points to which I have to draw your attention after having given my thoughts to these things. I would like to speak on certain matters which have engaged my attention. Currently, madam, I feel that at this hour we have to devote our attention to saving every rupee that we can. In that context, I say that as far as construction of buildings is concerned, It should be done in the same perspective. I mean, there are stations which have been demolished, stations which could have been quite serviceable for years to come. There were some very good stations. They were quite strong ones. Some were given a new look. At this hour of emergency, when we need every rupee to be saved, this has to be given serious consideration too. The second point that I would like to bring to the notice of the Honorable Minister of Railways is that as far as the narrow gauge railway lines are concerned, I have gone through some of their financial aspects and I am not really happy. I feel that as early as possible, the narrow gauge should be abolished because if you could save to the tune of rupees 2.5 crores annually, and the same could be invested in converting the line into broad gauge or even meter gauge. That would be a better project. I understand that the Railway Board is also giving serious consideration to this aspect of the thing. Now, I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister to a very important factor, as is the progress made in other democratic countries in the matter of our railways. Also, we should try to make it more modern. We should rationalize it and also make it modern in a manner which may compare favorably with the railways in other advanced countries of the world, which have gone much ahead of us. I mean, in this connection, that our research, designs, and standards organization should be given more consideration than has been given to it so far. Madam, I can quote in this context some of the organizations working in various countries, especially in Japan, Britain, and America. Japan is one country which has gone far ahead of even many of the Western countries. Those who have seen the performance of the Japanese railways will bear me out that it is an amazing feat how the entire system has gradually been developed, how it is all more or less electrical equipment and electrical operations with manual labor employed the least, whereas we have the steam locomotive and some of the crude methods for operations on the railways. Japan has gone far ahead of us. Stop. Ready for the second matter. Get ready. Start. It is a pleasure for me to be here for the seventh convocation of the Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. This occasion is a double celebration as it coincides with the 10th anniversary of the opening of the institute. Let me begin by congratulating the IIT Hyderabad community for these landmarks. For the graduating students, today is a special moment. It is the result of years of hard work and dedication on your part and on the part of your teachers and professors as well as your families. The energy and enthusiasm of youth combined with a solid foundation is a very effective combination. It can take an individual very far. As fresh IIT graduates, you are entering a world and an India packed with opportunities. There is so much you can do and so much you can achieve for yourselves, by your families, for society at large, particularly for those less fortunate than you. Please dream big and aim high, and please take risks. The time to do it is now. Like individuals, institutions are very dependent on decisions taken in their formative years. IIT Hyderabad is young. It is only 10 years old. It too is defined by energy and enthusiasm and has built a solid foundation. Today, you have 2,500 students, one in five of them being a young woman. The institute has a strong postgraduate program with 30% of students pursuing a PhD. These are commendable figures, but the question is what next? The road you take today will determine your future not just for the next few years, but perhaps for the rest of the country. That may sound like an overstatement, but do consider some of the world's major universities or even the older IITs. Your peer institutes, their achievements over several decades have been shaped by the trajectory they look in their earliest days. As a second generation IIT, it is important that you borrow from as well as learn from the models of the past. Conditions are different from the 1950s and 1960s. India has changed. Technology and the very discipline of engineering have evolved. Our aspirations are no longer limited to the heavy industrial base that we created 6 decades ago. Rather, IIT Hyderabad has to remain relevant to the fourth industrial revolution that will write the script of the 21st century. The new centers include the Center for Cyber Physical System and Internet of Things and the Fables Chip Design Incubator and other initiatives that fall under the umbrella of their TIC Foundation. Collaborative research is being carried out in areas of widespread utility such as 5G technology, affordable housing, and information networks for natural disaster mitigation and recovery. MOUs with leading international universities and R&D agreements with Japanese industrial corporations are also worthy of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the faculty and dear students, the best scientific universities and institutions of learning are not just teaching shops or degree factories. Increasingly, they are sources of innovation and incubators of technology and technology driven startups. The knowledge ecosystem of public investments in science, academic institutions, and universities, research, laboratories, commercial applications, and private enterprise has an almost magical potential. Its best example is, of course, Silicon Valley in the United States. At the core of Silicon Valley are basic science and technology campuses and their talented faculty and students. This IITs has been set up in a city and in a metropolitan area where several elements for such an ecosystem already exist. IIT Hyderabad, in a sense, is the element that completes the picture. Hyderabad has long tradition of scientific discovery and application in the 19th century. Ronald Rose, who won the Nobel Prize for medicine for identifying the mosquito that transmitted malaria, did pioneering work here. After independence, Hyderabad became a location of industrial manufacture. It saw vigorous and foresighted investments by the public sector and then the private sector. Gradually, the city's reputation grew as a research center. Before coming here, I called for details for the CSIR, the Department of Science and Technology, the Department of Biotechnology, the Department of Atomic Energy, the DRDO, and the ISRO. Between these institutions, I am told there are as many as 19 research facilities and laboratories in Hyderabad. I have not even mentioned the private sector. Hyderabad based companies are engaged in cutting edge research and manufacture of biopharmaceuticals and vaccines, and separately in the field of information technology. The true measure of IIT Hyderabad cannot be restricted to grade point averages, campus placements, and number of published papers. No doubt, all of those are important, but please don't limit your ambitions. Please break out of silos and please encourage others to break out of silos. India will judge your success by the vitality and the output you can ensure for not just yourself but for the entire Hyderabad knowledge ecosystem. Stop. So, how was the dictation? I hope you managed it. Write it well. Don't forget to share your scores in the comments. I do love to know how you did. By the way, the dictation was clear, right? Let me know if you faced any issues. Keep practicing regularly, and I am sure you will do great in your exams. Good luck and keep up the hard work.